We start with 1 hour chart. Okay, if we refer to one analysis, we have been looking for buy since the price was within this move. And exactly in my last video, when the price was here, we mentioned from now, if you want to look for trade, any trade we get, we consider as a short term. As long as we get into the profit, we start to manage. And even we mentioned we need to be quite careful. May the price can move for bigger correction, and exactly this is what we get. That's why I point anyone got the trade within this move, exactly they have to start to manage. Okay, as we can see, the prices start to drop. And even if we put this top in relative to what we have here, as we can see, we had a divergence here and even this one. Okay, now that's why we mentioned we need to be quite careful if you want to look for trade. Now we want to see we get this down move, whether this is the start of the up move or still we can expect to get one more drop before we get the next move. By the way, we move to higher time frame, we want to see what we have. Even if we move to higher time frame, we mentioned we want to price to break the previous stop for continuation, because we mentioned made this one turn to flat. The only reason we point on this in case there is a down move or bigger correction, but what we were expecting and still we're looking for continuation. Okay, and I want to see how we can trade it. And if we move to forward chart, all right. And one more thing, also when the price was here, we mentioned we wanted the price to break the top and previous top and continue. That's why we mentioned since the price couldn't break almost near to previous top, any trade we need to be quite careful. And again, this is the reasons why we get this down move. Because since in my last analysis, we keep point on that. And now if we want to look for trade, if there is a continuation similar, because there was opportunity to look for trade here and there and here as well based on lower time frame. If there is a continuation as a corrective, we cannot we cannot get really good trade setup unless we trade based on the small correction. And if we get any small correction, we trade based on that. We consider as a short-term trade. As long as we get into the profit, we start to manage. The best thing is if we get a proper correction for continuation. That's why if this one continues as a corrective, we need to be quite careful. Okay, and how about if can we expect this one to give us one more drop? Still we can expect that. That's why if we get any down move with a flag, this is where we need to be quite careful. What I want to say is we don't have the proper trade either for buy or sell, because we want to confirm whether this is the only correction and this is the start of the up move. In that case, we need to get a correction for continuation. Or how about if this one is in relative to this for one more drop? The only times we can confirm if we get a flag for continuation. But right now, we don't have any trade setup. That's why if we want to look for any trade, either buy or sell, we need to be quite careful. Okay. Can we put this one in relative to this as a running flat for continuation? Still, we can look for that. But the only thing is this move is quite corrective. Okay. That's why if we want to get any trade here, we have to get really proper trade setup. Rather than that, we cannot simply jump into the trade. Even there is a continuation with a sharp move, if there is no trade setup, we don't jump into the trade. Then at that times, maybe we wait for the breakout of the top. Then from there, we look for a trade. Anyway, we don't have any trade setup. The only thing is we need to see what we get here. Correction for continuation or reversal. In this case, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will share. Thanks.